Okay. Can you hear me? Tell me when you hear me.
Go ahead.
Oh, you heard me?
Hmm?
Oh, okay, great. Hey, everybody. We are back and ready to start another live stream. And that's going to be our reference. The reason why I have this right here is because I was playing around with the paint during the week. And what happened was that I saw a video. Somebody did these paintings, very broad paintings with a brush and landscapes, and I really liked it. So I tried it out myself. Just more paint, uh, um, thicker paint, and so I went ahead, and what I did was I applied it to painting with painting people. Where I was less concerned with detail and more concerned with just the broad way of painting. And so I kind of want to take this live stream in that direction, and just see what happens. See what comes of it. And before I go further, Karen is here.
Hi, how's everybody?
Okay, and so there is our reference, and I'm not going to use any pencil I'm just going to start with the brush, like a pale wash, more water than anything, just to get it on the page. This is hemp paper. It's very nice paper, and very expensive paper too. And I think this is the last sheet I have of it. So I'm going to use that for this session. Turn this around here. So the first thing I want to do is just to kind of figure out where everything is going to go. So just kind of just looking for the big shape of things. This is pretty much the way I painted when I painted in oils, and I was painting from the model in art class way back.
So it seems like you're drawing.
Pretty much, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I'm drawing with the brush.
With the brush, right.
Yeah, I'm trying to get everything in the right place. It's going to change a lot, but one of the things I want to do is the more accurate I put the placement of things, the less I have to move them around and make corrections later. So, get this over here. So I'm going to try a lot. It's kind of hard for me to avoid looking at details. I'm going to try to get the big shapes and lead it into smaller shapes, because the shapes are the details. It's just you start with the bigger ones and you get smaller and smaller till you get to the smaller shapes, which reveal things in the painting. So what I'm going to do is mix up some middle value here, and I want to get a good bunch of paint going. I'm trying to reactivate the wash here. Okay. Now I'm doing this more than I normally would because I want a lot more pigment than water. And let me put in some of these dark areas so I don't lose everything I started out with. I'll worry about the exact color later. I'm more concerned about the masses of dark and getting those down.
Mm.
So, who's here with us today?
Let's chat. Oh, we have someone from CD Sketch. Hello, first time commenting, but live. Been subscribed for a while.
Oh, okay.
Okay.
Great. Well, thank you for commenting. And thanks for joining us.
So, CD Sketch, are you painting? Are you painting along or drawing along?
Now I'm gonna come back in later with the background color and cut into the hair to get the texture and the curls and so forth. And I'm going to try and stay with this big brush as much as possible, because the thing with this big brush is that it'll keep me honest. It'll keep me from trying to get into the details too soon. So, and I want to avoid that so that I can concentrate on the big shapes.
Well, CD Sketch commented, he's not painting or drawing right now. He's actually working on some stuff for a video that he's making later.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah. So good. So I take it that he's interested in art, so I'm guessing that he's going along with it, just hoping to get some pointers.
I guess we're the background noise as he works.
For the background noise.
Yeah.
Okay. Well, Maritza's with us. She says hello, everyone.
Hi, Maritza.
Hi, Maritza. How are you?
I should have squeezed out a little bit more paint before I started. I have enough paint here, but I've been using this palette so much that some of the paint has become a little bit diluted in terms of you get other colors mixed together in the same well, but I'll work through it.
Okay, well, Chuck Smash is with us. He says hello.
Hey, Chuck.
Chuck Smash.
Chuck Smash.
Uh-huh. Okay, and Kumar's with us.
Kumar's back.
Yeah, he said hi, I'm back. Sorry I haven't been regular.
Okay.
How are you? We're doing good, Kumar. How are you?
It's like having a reunion, you know. When we do these on Saturdays, you know, we wonder who's showing up, and you know, and it's fun.
Yeah, it is. Kumar, how's that assignment going? I know you talked to us about, I believe the principal of your school had wanted you to do an illustration for one of their books. So, yeah. Remember that? When you told us about that?
I remember.
Yeah. So, yeah, he says he's good too. Yeah. I'm wondering how's that working out?
So I discovered a little something about gouache as I was working. Um, I knew that gouache dries just a bit darker than than you intended to when you first lay down the colors. So it's something to get used to. What I didn't realize was that um, actually it works both ways. For these lighter colors, when you start layering over it, the color, um, the color, wait, the dark color dries lighter than you intended. The light color dries darker than you intended. So it gets a little bit confusing, and that's something that I learned as I was painting this week. And I've been using gouache for a very long time. So that was that, but that was new to me. I knew that the dark colors, like I said, dried just a little bit lighter than what I initially put it down. And the reason being is that there's moisture in the paint, so it's shiny and it reflects the light. But as it dries, it becomes matte and it looks lighter than what you initially put down. But I was surprised about the lighter colors. So that was news to me.
So you said you're not going to work on the detail. You're not going to be as detailed.
Uh, no, I said that I'm going to. I'm going to put in details, but what happens is that I'm going to make sure that I start off with these big areas and let them lead me to the details.
Oh, okay.
And I want to get a good bunch of paint on the paper and cover as much as I can. And so this thing is getting saturated with water and paper, but that's okay. And the drips are fine.
Okay.
Even fun.
So the paper is really created to take to absorb a
Not
great deal of water. No.
not absorb, but it'll take some. It'll take a lot of washes of water, just fine. Because hemp paper is very strong paper.
Mhm.
So let me go ahead and find just a smaller. Not a tiny brush, but a smaller brush. Okay. Somebody's playing some kind of music that sounds like like bees buzzing.
Uh,
Do you hear that?
do I hear it? Let me see.
It
Yeah.
you hear it, right?
Yeah.
It was louder a few seconds ago. Even though this brush is smaller than the other one that I use, it's a flat, and I normally don't work with flats. I work with rounds, and this was the first week that I really started using these flats that I had for some time, but I never really used them. And it looks a lot more yellow than on the screen, right?
Yeah, it does.
It's not as yellow here, is it?
Mm, I would say at the top of the forehead, some.
But not as yellow as it looks on the screen, right?
Right.
Well, one of the things is that I work on unifying the values, and no matter what color it is, it'll begin to make more sense.
You were talking about the yellow color. You could see it on the skin at the bottom, the top of the top. Right over there. Yeah.
Well, I'm not going to worry too much about the color yet.
Mm-hmm.
Some, but not too much.
Okay. Okay. Well, Maritza says her internet is slow today. She's not in sync with the video, but she says I'm happy. After 18 months, we could finally go back to the academy. Oh, okay.
Oh.
So they're doing in-person learning. You know.
Well, are they still doing in-person learning? Because you can go back now, right?
Well, she said she could go back, so I'm thinking they probably did it remote.
Right.
You know, so now they might be going back to in-person learning. Okay. Right. And I think I'm remembering correctly. Maritza's from Colombia.
Right. That's what I remember.
Yes. So good. So they're going back to in-person learning. That's good, Maritza. So, how do you figure out proportions? I mean, how do you know to make the face this big or the hair that much or how
You compare. You compare everything to what's next to it, and you look for the overall things. You don't the thing that gets people lost in as far as the proportions are concerned is a lot of people try to see the details, and so you know you don't want to miss all those details,
mm-hmm.
and so you make the mistake of doing those details first without figuring the big picture and where all those details fit in.
Mm. Okay.
And when you do that, it throws everything off. You know, this mouth may be a little too low. Um, I might have to bring the nose down a little bit more. But like I said, in the beginning,
Uh-huh.
when you're gonna make corrections, but you try to be as accurate as possible in the beginning, knowing that there's gonna be corrections made, and that's fine.
You said no way.
That there's going to be corrections made,
Oh, okay.
and I'm saying that's fine. But the more careful you observe everything in the beginning, the less corrections you're going to have to make later on. Let me see if I can move this up just a little bit. Okay. I'll let that dry before I go back to, well, let me see. Oh, jeez.
It's really coming out well.
Oh, thank you.
these are warm colors, are they?
Most of them are warm, yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. So now I have a good amount of paint on here. Which I like. This is, I like when there's a lot of paint on here.
You said you like it?
Yeah, I do. It has a texture that you can't see, um, unless you're looking at the painting itself. But I find that a lot of art, it's like I buy books, and I buy a lot of art books, but nothing compares to seeing the actual paintings when you go to a museum, because you're taken by all these other things that you can't account for in a book. You can't account for, like, the size of the painting, and the book. No matter how beautifully it's reproduced, it's not as accurate in color as the actual painting. So it's a whole other experience when you actually see the painting. And okay, now I'm going to find a smaller brush, because I'm finding it hard to get into some of these smaller areas here. Oh.
in on the details, just with her face.
Yeah, I'm trying to. Well, I'm doing a little bit of what I said I did not want to do, but I'm trying to reestablish the drawing.
What do you mean by that? Reestablish the drawing.
Just getting everything in the right place.
Oh, okay.
You hear that noise, right?
I think that somebody's running upstairs.
Yeah. I know that doesn't come across on anything, but I hear lots of noise upstairs
On the live stream.
on the live stream. Yeah, that's what you call it.
That's what you're talking about, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Mhm. Oh, we have someone called Night Shift.
Night
Oh,
shift.
Night Shift. Okay. Person says sweet.
Okay. Thank you.
I'm wondering why the name Night Shift. You know. Mhm.
So I'm coming back in here not with paint, but with water, because I have a lot of paint, like I said down here already. So I can start to move this paint around.
Mhm.
And that'll help blend certain areas.
Okay. Well, Night Shift says, I think your ability to recreate that image in your painting live is remarkable. Love your channel.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, thanks, Night Shift. Yeah, I agree. Night Shift sends a thumbs up.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Trying to get this light area right. It's probably not a big thing, but to me it just looks nice. Just this light hidden just the lower lip, and it helps round it out.
I see the light on her chin. Is that what you're referring to?
No, on the lower lip.
The lower lip?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's,
It doesn't extend to the chin?
not as much.
Oh, okay.
Well, the thing about it is that there is a light hitting the chin, but unlike the light hitting her lower lip, it helps give that turn of the lip. It makes it seem more round.
Oh, okay.
So I'm dry brushing right now, and dry brush is just a method where you have more pigment than water on your brush, and so you're dragging the pigment. Oh, fly just landed on my nose.
What did you say?
A fly just landed on my nose.
I thought you said I just landed on my nose. Oh, what are you saying?
Yeah, it landed on my nose. Alright, I'm not finished with her face, but I want to move on into other areas of the painting. And one of the things that I do is I usually don't get to finish the painting uh, on the live stream. I'll finish it later and put it on my community tab, right? But what was I gonna say? I don't. Oh, one of the reasons why is I got this light bulbs right in front of my face just so as I can light up this area, and it's very hard for me to to paint with these lights shining all the time. But so when I'm done with this, what happens is I usually see things that I didn't see while I was painting because I had the light in my face all this time. And I can make whatever corrections later. So This has a little bit more blue in it.
Oh, we have heroic Harlequin with us.
Oh, okay.
Uh huh. Yeah. Yeah, she says she sorry she missed most of the stream, but it looks amazing. She's with us now.
Oh, okay. Thank you.
So Harlequin, how are you? Well, she responds, I'm doing good. She's doing good. Been working on my gouache portraits.
Oh, great.
Uh huh. And she said, how are you both?
Oh, we are doing fine.
Yeah, we're doing good.
Thank you for asking. Ah, and when I get the chance, I gotta buy me a blow dryer.
Say again, you got a what?
Get me a blow dryer
Oh,
to dry the paints as I'm painting, so I don't have to wait for it all the time.
you need a blow dryer right now?
You have? My wife has always had a blow dryer, and I didn't know.
Yeah. I don't use them.
That's probably why.
You want me to step away and?
No. Next time.
Okay, I have it set up.
A blow dryer is always useful when you're working with gouache or watercolor, because just to speed along the drying time, and you can do things like right now. I'm dragging this brush, and I'm trying to take the water out of the brush so that it leaves behind these brush strokes. It's kind of like a dry brush, is what you call it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to work back into the hair, because there's a lot of nice patterns that I can get there. Little shifts of color and value that would be fun, and without having to worry about drawing every curl. And I know she has an earring that's kind of lost in there.
Yeah. You see it on her right ear.
Yeah.
Yeah, but her left is protruding a little.
So when I said earlier, one of the things about gouache is that in the light areas, right, when you paint in gouache, it kind of seems to dry darker than when you put it on. And in the dark areas, it dries lighter than what you would have expect from what you put on. So there are a couple of things that you can do besides, trying to just exaggerate um, how light or dark it is to anticipate that. Gouache takes a little bit of getting used to. And but the other thing is that for because her the colors in her face are mostly warm. What I do with the highlights is I put a little blue in them, and and they stand out more and don't sink in as much. They don't get too dark, or if they do, you still notice them because and read them as highlights because of the temperature change from a warm color to a cool color. And there's so much paint on here now. And what's kind of fun is that I can keep building on that paint. Now, the gouache fights back. After a while, it'll when you put a color down, it'll just sink in and be absorbed underneath. Once it gets too the paint gets too thick, So there's a point where the gouache will tell you, no, I'm not doing it anymore. Uh, but up until you get to that point, you can try and play around and see how much paint you can get on there. You see, I put this orange over here, and it's already getting absorbed into the paint underneath. So there's only so much, and what you can try to do is just put more pigment. Just take the water out of it as much as possible, and use more pigment. And it will stay on the surface a little better.
All right. Well, Maritza chimes in. She says, I love the way the curly hair looks in your painting. You are beautiful people to share with us your time and knowledge. You have the ability to teach.
Thank you.
Thanks to you and your wife. Maritza, thank you so much.
Well,
yeah.
okay, so
Yeah, Maritza, I kind of believe that his abilities is extraordinary, and yeah.
oh, thank you. Well, I am coming to a close as far as this is concerned, and again, I'm still I'm still going to be working on this after this live stream, and I will put a finished painting up on my community tab as soon as I'm done with it. But just let me remind everyone uh, that I will be teaching a gouache class this fall at the Penn Studio School of Art, and we'll include a link in the what do you call that box where they put all
The chat box?
the chat box. There you go, the chat box. You know, I just my mind is a little bit gone. And I'll be teaching the class at the Penn Studio Art School this fall, and we'll leave a link. And there's a link on the below this video as well. And many ways for you to support this stream and my YouTube channel. You see on the top of the chat, there's a buy me a coffee, or there's super chat, or if you look below, there's merch. I included two sketchbooks and PDF on making digital portraits, which was a book that I had put out on Amazon, but I have a downloadable PDF below here. You'll see it under the merch that's there. We just appreciate it. We appreciate you spending this time with us.
There's one
And
more question. Do we have time for one more question?
we got time for questions. Go ahead.
Okay, this is Harlequin. So I know gouache has that quality that you can keep working into it and also over it. But is there a point when gouache becomes unworkable? And if so, what do you do to correct it?
Okay, there comes a point where you build up so much color on the paper that it just gets absorbed into the paint that's beneath it. So it does become unworkable in that sense. There's a few things that you can do. The most difficult thing is to just take a little bit of take a rag with some water and just loosen the paint that's underneath and just dry it up. Dry it up. Get as close to get as close to the paper as you can, and then you can continue to paint once that dries. Right. The other thing is that you can introduce other things which are similar to gouache. You can work with acrylic gouache, and you know once the gouache dries, you can paint over it with acrylic gouache, and you can continue to build on top of that, because acrylic gouache, unlike gouache, dries and you can't reactivate it. You can't reactivate it, so you can paint over it either with acrylic gouache or with gouache. So that's another method. And casein the same way. Casein is another paint that's very similar to gouache, and you can use casein with gouache. Now casein dries faster than gouache. On the palette, it dries really fast. And also the thing with casein has a milk-based binder. So unless you're using a very stiff, thick board, it's not ideal to use like on a flimsy, thin piece of paper. So anything under a 350-pound paper or something like that. Now, it sounds like a lot, but actually it's the poundage per ream. So a ream is like 500 sheets. So you get 500 sheets of this paper, and it will weigh like 350 pounds. You know, that's how thick it is. But an individual sheet, of course, is not going to weigh 350 pounds, right? But you get, it's a thick piece of paper, right? It's either a watercolor board or an illustration board, and you use that to paint with casein, because otherwise, if the paper bends or anything, the paint will crack. Even though casein is very durable, if you paint it on a thick board, you won't have any problems with that. It won't crack or anything like that. It's just because it's a milk-based binder. It's similar to egg tempera. All right, egg temper, the same thing. You have to be able to paint on a thick board, but egg tempers, people have been egg tempers, casein, gouache. People have been using that since the Renaissance. So those are the ways that I would think of to work with gouache when it becomes unworkable. You would use one of those methods. Okay. So any more questions there?
Well, not a question, but a comment. And from Night Shift, thank you folks for your time and knowledge and making this live stream available.
All right. Well, thank you. Thank you for showing up and spending this time with us. We really appreciate and enjoy the time that we spend on Saturdays with you guys. So we will be back next Saturday. I just put up an in case you want to look at it. I had put up a video earlier this morning on just a regular video on YouTube, just drawing for the fun of it. You know, I like I like painting and really trying to learn something from my paintings, but every now and then I just want to be able to draw like I did when I was a kid and just enjoy it and have fun with it. So there's that video. You can subscribe, follow me on my YouTube channel, look at the other videos on my YouTube channel, and just enjoy yourselves and leave comments. And even after we're done with this live stream, you can always leave comments below. We always look out for comments and any questions that you might have about jazz or about jazz. What did I say jazz for?
I don't know.
You know what? I've been watching Ken Burns' Jazz. There's a documentary on jazz. So I'm thinking I'm doing a documentary on jazz in my live stream, right? Uh, so any questions you might have about gouache, all right? So again, thank you, and we enjoyed this time, all right? Okay. So bye-bye.